Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. Hope everyone's doing well. So, I'm here today with a massive book haul. I have been to several used bookstores, one in particular that was like striking gold. So, I'll talk about that in a bit. I also wanted to mention what I've been reading, and it's going to be quick because I have not been reading much. I've been doing a lot of, well, first of all, the weather's been so gorgeous. I've been doing a lot of household chores, things that need to get done. So I did read a couple library books. Now I know I'm going to return this today, and I know it's going to have a massive fine on this because I could not get through this stupid book. I'm sorry. I got out two of the continuation of the V.C. Andrews Dollenganger series, of course, written by Andrew Niederman, whom I usually have no problem with his writing. In fact, I really enjoy his writing quite a bit, but I found these two books really dumb. And I'd actually read the other one before, and I thought I would try it again to see if it improved, and it really didn't. So why I torture myself, I don't know, but I'm just determined to read all these V.C. Andrews books. So the other one I returned to the library, that was Christopher's Diary, Secrets of Foxworth, and then the follow-up is The Echoes of Dollenganger. What can I say? You know, Christopher is probably the most boring character in the Dollenganger series. I mean, if it had been Kathy's diary, I think it would have been a lot more interesting. It's about a teenage girl named Kristen. I had to look up her name because I read both books and I couldn't even remember. And basically, the two books are, a continuation of the same story. But Kristen's dad is a contractor working on the rebuilding the old Foxworth estate, and they find a secret diary. That was in the first book. They read the diary. It takes her forever to read the diary. I mean, how long is this diary? And why can't you read it right away? I mean, I guess they do try to explain that, well, she can't handle it. She's got to read it in parts. So by the end of the first book, she meets this guy named Kane, a rich, handsome guy in her school that's very popular. And she's also very gorgeous. She looks just like one of the Dollengangers, blonde hair, blue eyes, Dresden doll look. They start dating, I think, by the end of the first book. And then the second book, it's so weird. They read the diary together and kind of act out the sensuality that's going on between Kathy and Christopher, even to the point where Kane is wearing a blonde wig. It's just so weird. And it kind of just I guess I just got so bored. I don't care when Kristen loses her virginity. I just didn't care. It was done in tandem with the sexual exploration of Christopher and Kathy. I'm going to have the biggest fine on this book because it was so short and it took me weeks to read it. So I have to return this to the library today. But at least I read it. And then I have the other one, The Secret Brother. I'm going to keep reading them. I hope they improve. But anyway, yeah, I haven't been reading much. And I'm about to go on my annual cabin in the woods retreat that I do every spring. And instead of doing a writer's retreat, I'm going to be doing a reader's retreat this year. So I had to finish that. I'm going to bring some other books with me and probably some from this amazing haul I've done. So let's get started. So one thing I got from Creepy Crate that I love, and it's been very convenient for my book hauls, is this amazing tote bag from the Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madness. Isn't that fun? I think that was the best Creepy Crate gift I've gotten so far. So I'm going to go through all the books that I bought. Most of these are from this incredible store. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I have a video I'm including my vlog from my Patreon. Of course, you could have access to all my vlogs if you would like to join Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. If not, it's okay. But I'm going to include that at the end of this video of what this bookstore was like. It's very cool. So this bookstore I went to, I think it's pretty sure it's a hybrid, new and old, but they had tons of old books and a lot of cats. And the bookstore is Cupboard Maker Books, Enola, Pennsylvania. It's near Harrisburg and Hershey, kind of in that area. We went to Hotel Hershey for our anniversary dinner, which was last week, and went to a hockey game. Go Bears! I'm not a sports fan, but my husband is like a huge sports fan, so we had fun. I was a good sport at the sports game. I actually enjoyed it because we were like right down near the ice, and I really had to pay attention because some of those pucks came over the net and you got to be careful. But anyway, this bookstore was amazing, absolutely amazing. And it had a huge horror selection, which, never seems to happen in used bookstores. So I was quite thrilled. So let me go through what I got. All right, so this one actually I got at a different store. This one I got in Newtown. It's called The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. It's like a vampire thriller, maybe? I don't know, it looks good. The celebrated literary debut that became a runaway international bestseller. Okay, well, that sounds good. Breathtakingly suspenseful and beautifully written. The Historian is a story of a young woman plunged into the labyrinth where the secrets of her family past connect to an inconceivable evil, the dark 15th century reign of Vlad the Impaler, and a time-defying pact that may have kept his awful work alive through the ages. This sounds really good. Okay, so next, I was absolutely thrilled to find this book. I have a beat-up paperback version of it that I've read to death, but here is a gorgeous hardcover version of Stephen King's Danse Macabre, a nonfiction book about horror from the master himself. I'm sure many of you have heard of this book, but I was thrilled to add this to my collection. And speaking of hardbacks, I have a few here. I got Mem Knock the Devil, another Vampire Chronicles book by Anne Rice. I think this is the next one in line. I read Tale of the Body Thief, so I think this one is next. Anyway, I didn't have it, so now I do. And then also by Christopher Rice, and I have another Christopher Rice book that I have not read yet, but I want to. And this is A Density of Souls. I have no idea what this book is about, but I do want to read some Christopher Rice. And a book that I think I may have had in the past at one time. Ooh, there's a card in here. You find weird things in books. Aw, let's see what this says. I've found, photographs in books and weird things. May happy and bright be your birthday. For special and loved you are. Love you, Mom and Dad. 1987. I guess they must have given this person this book for their birthday, and oh well, pass that on. All right, so I'm going to keep this in here. But this is Thomas Tryon's All That Glitters. I believe this is like an anthology of different stories, but I love Thomas Tryon's writing, and I don't think I've read this. I've read the other anthology stories, Crowned Heads, but not this one. This I saw, and for a minute I thought it was Amy McCaw's book, Mina and the Undead, because it says Mina and the type is very similar. But these are two vampire stories in a series, or a series of supernatural stories by Marie Corelli. This one's called Mina, and this one's called Liana. And I couldn't resist because they made me think of Mina and the Undead, which I have to read the follow-up book from the first one. I loved it, and Amy's awesome. So this is like Vampire Dracula stories. Love it. I also found several books that are based on movies I love. And when I was a kid, I loved reading the book versions of movies. My dad had all of them, including this one, Peter Benchley's The Deep. Now, this wasn't as good as Jaws, but the movie was really sexy. If you recall, I remember seeing this at the drive-in. Nick Nolte never looked better, and Jacqueline Bisset. Remember, she's swimming, deep sea diving, wearing just a white t-shirt. I'm sure that some of you guys might remember that. And this is like a fun beach read. I've never read that version of it, but I can tell it's going to be a fun beach read. And here's another novelization of a favorite movie, Damien, Omen Part 2. And these books were always great because they'd have photos from the film. Here's a book I picked up somewhere. This is an R.L. Stine book, The Haunting Hour, Chills in the Dead of Night, for my juvenile collection. Some great illustrations. I think these are all short stories. Looks like a lot of fun. This is a book of short stories that I've never seen, and as soon as I saw it, I just pounced on it. It's called The Ghouls, short stories, with an introduction by Vincent Price and an afterword by Christopher Lee. You can't get any better than that. Here's another book based on, or I don't know, I think this was written first. Sometimes they're written after, but this I believe was written first, and that's Dead Ringers. I have not seen the remake. I don't know if I want to because I love this movie so much. Oh shoot, no pictures. But this was originally called Twins by Barry Wood and Jack Gleason. I have a few Barry Wood books, but yeah, Dead Ringers, great film by Cronenberg. This, I don't know what this is, but how could I resist? It's called The Glow, a novel by Brooks Stanwood. I have several of these little novelettes. They're like short novels. They might have been part of book clubs. They just have that feeling. Or they're short, like novellas from, I'm guessing, let me guess what year this was. It's got to be late 70s, early 80s. 79, okay. Pretty good guess. It's about like jogging horror. Most of you guys probably were not alive during this time, but there was a jogging craze that happened in the late 70s. And I remember because I was in high school and everybody was starting to join the track team, which I would have joined the track team because I did love to run. And up till a few years ago, I was a runner, but just, my knees kind of getting a little old for that. I messed up my knee, and long story, I switched to walking, which is just gentler on my aging physique. But everybody was jogging. I didn't join the track team because I was in the drama club and I couldn't do both. But yeah, that was a thing. Everyone had to buy their Adidas sneakers and their cool jogging suit. So here we go. The Glow. Jackie and Pete Lawrence were a typical young, sophisticated married couple until they started jogging, and then in a commitment to physical fitness became an unimaginable nightmare. The Glow. This just looks crazy and amazing. Here's another vampire book by Nancy Kilpatrick, Near Death. And this is another one of those short novels, hardbacks from that era that I was intrigued by. Golgotha Falls, a novel by the author of Audrey Rose. I love Audrey Rose. The book and the movie are excellent. Frank de Filetta. Very cool cover. I just want to read all of them. These I grabbed. Now, there are 6 in all. And I knew I had one, but I couldn't remember which one. So I just grabbed them all. And of course, the one I don't have is still missing. But I grabbed the Blackstone Chronicles by John Saul. And I have them out of order. But anyway, I've got 1 through 5. And I already have one of them. I have the one with the doll. Where is it? Yes, I have the first one. So I still need number 6. So if any of you good people have an extra one and you want to send it to me, my address is below. I might bring one of these with me to my retreat because I want to bring a variety of books. Oh, and here's another one from a movie that I really like, and this is Sphinx by Robin Cook, author of Coma. Coma is actually a really good book. Robin Cook wrote a lot of like medical sci-fi horror, I guess you could say. I have a few on my shelf. I think I've only read Coma, but this is a pretty good movie. Kind of like, I mean, it's like one of those, I guess it was considered a flop. It has Frank Langella. It's all about Egypt explorations, which is one of my favorite subjects. And I got another Michael Slade book. I have a few of these. This one's called Cutthroat. I feel like I might have Cutthroat, but it's a different cover. It's a little beat up, but you know, still fun. And then this I picked up. It's a Cemetery Dance, nice edition of a Joe Hill special issue. I've been looking through this. It's very fun. This was from several years ago. Cemetery Dance does a really good job with these. Really good. And then finally, this is another one I pounced on, and I feel like I didn't have this book as a kid, but I might have seen it at the library or something. This is Great Tales of Horror and Suspense. It's like a children's short story book, and just, I wish that dust jacket was in a little better shape, but oh my gosh. You really have to appreciate the care that went into these old books. It's just, these are stunning illustrations. These are Weird Tales of Edgar Allan Poe, obviously abridged, The Ghost Ship and Other Ghostly Stories, and Dracula. So this is a good introduction for kids to classic horror. Gotta love it. I think it's hard for a kid to pick, unless you're really a genius, to pick up Poe for the first time, or Dracula, you know, at age 12 and be able to really understand it. But you know those stories. Like I first learned about Dracula from watching movies, and Edgar Allan Poe, like the Pit and the Pendulum movie. So those brought me into the story. And then also reading abridged stories like this. So here's Dracula. And grown-ups can read it too. So I promised to share the video from my visit to Cupboard Maker Books. So let's just cut to that right now. Hey, I'm here at Cupboard Maker Books in Harrisburg, and there it is back there. Never been to this bookstore before, so I'm going to check it out right now. Do we have a horror section?
We do. Have you seen the dead body
Oh.
over there? That's where it's at. Yeah, paperbacks on the left. Paperbacks on the right, hardbacks on the left.
Oh, follow the dead body. Okay, great. I got so many wonderful horror books, incredible selection. I will definitely be back at this bookstore. Amazing. Well, I hope you enjoyed my haul and my visit to the bookstore. If you have any favorite used bookstores near where you live, please mention them in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye!